Now part 2 from worksheet number 5, question 13. The production of a slightly soluble solid compound in a double displacement reaction results in the formation of slightly soluble means undissolved substance. So if you have undissolved substance, it will precipitate at the bottom. So here it results in the formation of gas, no. Precipitate, yes. Slightly, again, soluble means undissolved substance, which is mean precipitate. So the correct answer is B. Now question 14. In a reaction, the ions of two compounds exchange place in aqueous solution to form two new compounds. This reaction is called. So here, if you remember the definition of double displacement reactions, ions of two compounds exchange in an aqueous solution to form two new compounds. So it's a definition of double displacement reaction. So the correct answer is D. Now question 15. Which of the following is not an example of possible type of displacement reaction? Now A, displacement of metal in a compound by another metal, displacement of the non-metal in a compound by another non-metal, displacement of the hydrogen in water by metal species, or displacement of the hydrogen in water by non-metal. So if you remember the single displacement reaction, element replaces similar element. So element replaces similar element. So if the element is metal, it replaces metal in the compound. If non-metal, it replaces non-metal in the compound. So here, metal replaced another metal, yes. Non-metal replaces another non-metal, yes. Hydrogen in water replaces by metal, yes, because metal replaces the positive charge in the compound, and in water hydrogen carry the positive charge. So hydrogen in water replaces by non-metal, no. So the correct answer here D, because the question asked about is not an example of the possible type of displacement reaction. Now question 16. Which of the following is true about decomposition reactions? So here, electricity may be used as the energy source. Only when a product can be formed, energy as heat must be released. If you remember from the handout for decomposition reactions, here note, most of the decomposition reactions need energy to occur. So this energy as heat, which is called thermal decomposition, or electricity, which is called electrolysis. So here, electricity may be used as an energy source, yes. Only when a product, no. Energy as heat must be released, no, it must be absorbed. So the correct answer is A. Now question 17. In the reaction, Zn plus H2SO4 produced ZnSO4 and H2. What happened in this reaction? Here, zinc replaces hydrogen. So instead of H2SO4, here ZnSO4. So here, what element has been displaced? What element has been displaced? So it's hydrogen, because here zinc replaces hydrogen in a compound. So the correct answer is B. Question 18. Which of the following equations represent a decomposition reaction? What is the general formula for decomposition reactions? One reactant. So here you have to find which equation contains one reactant. So here 2 reactants and here 1 reactant. So the correct answer is B. Now, oxidation means. What is the definition of oxidation? Oxidation means losing of electrons or increases in charge. Oxidation number increases. So, losing electron, yes. Gain electron, no. Increasing charge, yes. So the correct answers are A and C. So D. Now question 20. Of the following, which is an example of an oxidation reduction reaction? So here you have to remember oxidation reduction reaction or redox reaction involve a transfer of electron. So in any equation you have to get the charge for each element. Then if the charge increases, it's an oxidation. If the charge decreases, so it's a reduction. So the reaction will be oxidation reduction reaction. So here for the first one, here iron is a pure element, one type of element, so the charge is 0. Oxygen, here the charge is 0. You have to remember chapter 7 section 2, oxidation number lesson. Here you have compound. Oxygen is in group 6 in the periodic table, so it carries -2 charge. It's a neutral compound, so negative charge must be equal to positive charge. So here in the example, iron, for iron, the charge increases from 0 to +2, which means oxidation. And for oxygen, the charge decreases from 0 to -2, which mean reduction. So it's an oxidation reduction reaction. So it's an oxidation reduction reaction. What about B? Here, hydrogen carry positive charge, +1. Chlorine is in group 7 in the periodic table, so -1. Here, potassium, it's in group 1 in the periodic table, +1. Hydroxide is a polyatomic ion, so -1. It carries -1 charge. Here, potassium, it's in group 1 in the periodic table. And chlorine in group 7, so -1. And hydrogen in water carry +1 charge. And oxygen, it's in group 6, so -2. So here for hydrogen, charge is +1, and here charge is +1. Chlorine, the charge is -1, and here -1. Here potassium, the charge is +1, and here the charge is +1. Here for hydroxide group, it carries -1 charge. So the charge of hydrogen is +1 and the charge of oxygen is -2. So the total charge of this hydroxide group is -1. So the charge of oxygen here -2 and here -2. And the charge of hydrogen in hydroxide group +1 and here +1. So the oxidation number of elements for each element does not change. So it's not an oxidation reduction reaction. Now see, lithium plus aluminum chloride produce lithium chloride and aluminum. So here, okay, you have to balance the equation. Okay, so now it's one type of element, so the charge is 0. Here it's a compound. Aluminum is in group 3 in the periodic table, so +3, and chlorine in group 7, so -1. Now here lithium, it's a compound, so it's in group 1 in the periodic table, so +1, and chlorine -1, and aluminum, it's one type of element, so the oxidation number is 0. So what about the charge of lithium? Here, for lithium, the charge increases from 0 to +1. So it's an oxidation. What about aluminum? The charge decreases from +3 to 0. So it's a reduction process. What about chlorine? -1, -1. The oxidation number does not change. So here in the reaction, you have oxidation and reduction processes. So it's an oxidation reduction reaction. So also see, it's an oxidation reduction reaction. So here both A and C. Yes, the correct answer is D. So again, if you have question and ask about if it's an oxidation reduction reaction, you have to find the oxidation state for each element. If oxidation state increases and in another element oxidation state decreases, so it means an oxidation reduction reaction. Now question 21. What are the products of the incomplete combustion reaction? Here, for combustion reaction, the products fixed carbon dioxide and water. But if it's incomplete combustion, which means not enough oxygen, the products are carbon monoxide instead of carbon dioxide and water. So the products are carbon monoxide and water. So the correct answer is B. Now question 22. An NaCl dissociate, it's a solid state, dissociate to ions, sodium ion and chloride ions. So this process represent oxidation reduction, decomposition, synthesis, or dissolving in water. What about oxidation reduction? Here it's a compound, so the charge of sodium is +1 and chlorine -1. So +1 and here -1. The oxidation number for sodium does not change and the oxidation number of chlorine does not change, so it's not an oxidation reduction reaction. What about decomposition? Decomposition means breaking down. So you have compound and breaking down to its original substance, not ions. So it's not a decomposition reaction. So here, for example, sodium chloride, if it's a decomposition reaction, it must decompose to sodium atoms and chlorine gas, not ions. so it's not a decomposition reaction. Synthesis, no, because synthesis means one product, so it's dissolving in water. So the correct answer is D. So if you have substance in solid state, then dissociate to ions, it means dissolving in water. Thank you.